Hi, Alex Polyak here. In this video, I want to talk about some subtle and interesting details in the plot of the GTA games. I warn you that we are expecting spoilers, but they will be minor. Catalina is a very stern woman, capable of destroying anyone. Where does so much anger and rudeness come from, and why does she hate men the most? You can make different assumptions, or think that the scriptwriters did not substantiate the character of this person in any way. But in fact, in GTA San Andreas, there is one dialogue that the player may not notice, but it turns out that it is the answer to the psychological problems of the Catalina case. Let's listen to it.
Carl, you have to be fast and totally ruthless. Not fucking about like in the betting shop.
What? If you hadn't started busting things, would have been sweet.
They had to die because you were slow and stupid. Like a big fat brat that eats chocolates while his father gives nothing to his stepdaughter but stale bread.
What? Where'd that come from?
Enough! I'm not speaking to you anymore.
From this conversation, we learn that Catalina did not grow up with her biological father, but with a stepfather who had his own son. And it seems that the son received attention and care from his father, and the adopted daughter, on the contrary, received a harsh attitude from her stepfather. This childhood trauma bursts out of Catalina so unexpectedly that CJ is perplexed and starts asking questions. Catalina felt like she accidentally revealed her secret, and so she immediately hurried to end the conversation. In psychology, it is believed that a woman's attitude towards men is largely based on what kind of relationship she had with her father, or whoever played the role of a father. This factor is very important for a growing girl, and this is what can influence her attitude towards the opposite sex. So Catalina, having experienced a cold or even cruel attitude from her stepfather, became a cruel man-hater, and at the same time, she is desperately trying to find love, which she did not get in childhood. A sad story. You will not find the next detail funny either. In GTA 4, Nico once has to eliminate Dwayne or Playboy X. The essence of this story is that both of these characters were very close friends, but in the end they ordered the murder of each other. At first, Playboy intends to kill Dwayne, and Dwayne himself, feeling threatened, asks Nico to eliminate his former friend. Thus, we are well aware of the motivation of this old gangster. But there is one little noticed detail in this story, or more precisely, a small hidden motive, which Dwayne himself can admit if Nico spends time with him in some bar and they get drunk.
Hell yeah! Cause booze lets you forget, man. Lets you fucking forget.
Not me.
Yeah. Well, it lets me forget. Lets me forget that I killed my best friend. Cause I was jealous. Cause I couldn't handle his success. You know that?
You're drunk. Shut up.
I'm a fucking murderer. I killed my best friend. Man, I'm shit. Useless shit. Kill me, Nico.
I think Dwayne was not lying when he feared for his life and asked Nico to sort it out, but it seems that somewhere in the depths of his psyche, he also felt envy, and this is what pushed him to a cruel solution to his problem. And remembering his dissatisfied behavior during the missions, this detail becomes even more understandable. And yet, in comparison with Playboy, Dwayne seems to be a more conscientious person, mentally broken and regretting his sins. Now let's talk about Vice City. One of the players shared his thoughts about the Cuban gang with me, and I will tell you about it now. In the supply and demand mission, Tommy Vercetti, on behalf of Diaz, goes to get goods using a speedboat. On the way back, representatives of the Cuban group descend on the protagonist and Lance, and it seems that the appearance of this particular gang was not accidental. These guys are engaged in drug business using supply channels by water. Interestingly, if Tommy buys a boat workshop, then he will have access to the mission to collect prohibited goods on the water using a boat. And by the way, one of the two available boats is the Cuban Jetmax. So, the final part of the route surprisingly coincides with Diaz's mission, where Tommy goes to the same place for the goods. You can also remember that in the same area the protagonist sails on a boat during the very first mission to the Cuban gang. In general, it seems that Umberto and his guys are seriously connected with this activity and these routes. In GTA The Ballad of Gay Tony, in the mission Ladies' Night, Luis mentions that his boss paid for him to take helicopter flying courses.
Stop driving suspiciously, Lou. They'll get wise to us. Get wise? What are we, in some gumshoe novel now? I'm driving as unsuspiciously as you can when your boss only forked out for a weekend helicopter course. If he's getting wise, it's because you're a tight ass.
It's great that this isn't just a meaningless bit of dialogue, because if you explore the protagonist's apartment, you can see a certificate confirming that Luis actually took those courses. And by the way, this certificate was issued by a company that organizes helicopter tourist flights from the southern part of Algonquin. Luis probably practiced there. In GTA 4, Nico works for a government agent who does not reveal his affiliation with any particular structure. Of course, you can catch some indirect clues in his words, but we finally learn about his affiliation with the IAA, analogous to the real CIA, only in the later GTA 5. It is interesting that in GTA 4, there is still one detail that gave the player a hint in advance. These are training certificates, which, based on the emblem, were issued by the CIA. Although the name Edward Fortuna is indicated there, which could be some kind of fake name for this agent, or it could be the name of some random person. Also, the abbreviation CIA is found on other papers in the same office. The next detail is very small, but it is interesting in its sophistication. When, according to the storyline of GTA 5, Trevor begins to guess that Michael is hiding the truth about their old mutual friend. He asks a question, and Michael takes a pose that, from a psychological point of view, can be interpreted as a desire to protect himself from an uncomfortable conversation, and it also shows a desire to hide the truth from Trevor.
Who was buried in your place?
I never gave it any thought.
It is interesting to see such subtle psychological details in GTA that are based on real subconscious behavior of people. Of course, this is not the only example of good staging of scenes and skillful acting in Grand Theft Auto, but this particular detail seemed to me one of the most remarkable and indicative. Nico's first girlfriend in GTA 4 is Michelle, the same one who eventually turned out to be a law enforcement spy, whose task was to monitor Bellic and obtain important information about the criminal world of Liberty City. From the very beginning of this romantic relationship, you can notice some moments that hint at the real activities and true intentions of Michelle. For example, if you go to a bar on a date, only Nico will be drunk. That is, of all the girls available for dating in GTA 4, Michelle is the only one who is always sober. Another interesting point is that during a date with Michelle, if Nico drives while drunk, the police will not react to it. And this is a unique case because on a date with any other girl, the police will definitely pay attention to Nico's drunk driving. Here are some more interesting details. Listen to how Michelle comments on Nico's fast driving.
You drive like a gangster.
This is what you can hear when Bellic is hiding from the police.
Have you ever been arrested, Nico?
And here is a very ambiguous phrase during a kiss.
Maybe we can kiss?
Anything for my country.
And as a bonus, I will add one more small moment. Perhaps this is just a coincidence, but it is interesting that Michelle's car is a Merit, and this is the model of car used by police patrols in GTA 4. Let's return to GTA San Andreas. During the local liquor store mission, Catalina calms CJ down with this phrase during a tense moment.
This place will be a walk in the park.
Okay, let's just take it.
Sometime later, when CJ and Caesar are on a risky mission for Torino to intercept a moving truck, the protagonist calms his friend down with the same words.
It'll be a walk in the park.
Tell Kendall I love her!
Maybe this has no direct connection, considering that such a phrase is a common expression meaning an easy task. But it also looks like CJ remembered his adventures with Catalina and decided to express himself in the words of his former partner. And the fact that Catalina is Caesar's cousin adds additional flavor to this moment. Perhaps CJ took this into account and therefore addressed his friend in the words of his sister. One of the dramatic moments in GTA 4 is the relationship between Mikhail Faustin and his old friend Dmitry Raskolov. Dmitry gets into a difficult situation and decides to betray his friend, forcing Nico to do the bloody work and eliminate Mikhail. Bellic meets Faustin at the Perestroika Club, where Faustin guesses about the betrayal and shows Nico a tattoo on his palm, which means eternal friendship with Raskolov.
Dimitri. My brother. You see this? This tattoo says we are brothers for life. And now he betrays me.
It is difficult to say whether this tattoo is Mikhail's personal desire to perpetuate friendly loyalty or it was a mutual oath where each of the friends had to have such a tattoo. But in any case, Dmitry in this situation looks like a less loyal person because there is no similar mark on his hands. I checked all the cutscenes with his participation and also the character model after the cutscenes. Of course, one can admit the possibility of an error by the developers, but personally, I strongly doubt it because GTA 4 is very focused on the storyline, and also this detail looks very indicative because it subtly hints that only one of the two friends was truly loyal. Write in the comments what you think about this. I'd love it if you liked this video, and of course if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because there's a lot more GTA content coming up. See you there!